What's up, everybody? It's your favorite Aurora's favorite nerd, and today we are looking at the MMC Tyrantron Rise, I think is his name. Their Stormbringer Megatron, which is a retool of their Optimus Prime. I forget the name of it. It was like Optimus Nexus, something. Oh, that might be it. Something like that. Which is impressive in and of itself, and we'll talk about that a bit more as we go through this figure. But first of all, it's all known to me from Richard H. Shout out to him. I do appreciate it. And I don't know what the demand was for this, honestly, but we all know that MMC seems to rely heavily on their retools to kind of, you know, the sun don't shine if sun don't shine kind of deal. And at least this is an incredibly clever retool, bringing on a whole new character and not really sacrificing a whole lot to pull it off. So I applaud them for that. We'll see if it holds up. Only one way to tell, and that's to take a look at it. But in order to do so, we need to first take a look at accessories. We'll start off with different options for the head. We have a black helmet here, and then we have two faces. One's like a screaming face, black inside the mouth, so to speak, and then white teeth painted on. And then you have kind of a more angrier face that has the same sort of details as the standard stock face that we will talk about when we get to the figure. What good is a Megatron without a fusion cannon? And he has one. Painted silver and black. It extends and collapses. That's up to you and how you see fit to utilize it. There's a port there on the side of his arm. There's a peg here inside of the turret. We'll get this out of the way just to utilize it. And then you have it connected. He comes with a sword. It's quite nice. The handle is painted silver. The blade is painted silver over top of purple translucent plastic, which gives it a really nice look. There are two different slots in the sword, a lower slot and an upper slot. Both of them are used in concert with this peg in his palm of his hand and wrap his fingers around it. He comes with a mace, and they really went the extra mile on this. So you have the handle, right, with a slot for the hand, painted silver, real chain that comes out to the mace. I've never seen anybody do it before, but it looks great. The ball is painted silver, and the spikes are left with the translucent purple. That is going the extra mile, and it benefits from it. And he'll hold it just fine. All right, let's have a look. So the head sculpt, I think, looks great. The nose is especially well sculpted. Like, a lot of character is in this. It looks like it jumped right off the page. Paint looks good on the face and eyes. Actually, it might just be eyes and then the black bits above the brow. I can't tell, but it looks good regardless. Then you got silver paint. I mean, not for nothing, man. We know MMC... they are not known for their heavy hands with the brush. But this guy is painted. I guess they have no workaround when it's silver. You know, it's either really make it look bad or paint it. But look how good it looks as a result. Maybe MMC should paint more often. I believe in them. Do you? So the head itself, you have a ball peg up in the head, and then you have a hinge down at the neck. Gets the head all the way up. A good bit down. Left, right, and a confused Megatron face. Looks good. Silver's painted nicely. Silver's also painted nicely on the shoulder pad, and then you have this gun here that can move about a bit. If it helps you at all. I'm not sure that it will, but if it does. This shoulder pad is on its own armature. Not ideal, but that's the way it is. Universal joint here. Get you out to 90. Hinge inside of the shoulder assembly gets you up even further. Then we have 360 around and a billified joint. It's slight, but it is there. The reverse one is kind of more stated, I guess. And then you kind of got to bring it back together. The red is just plastic. You get a bicep swivel. You get a double jointed. Is that triple? No, double jointed, I think. Shoulder with the piston in there. That looks good. And then the wrist swivel, they hinge in out. The fingers are on hinges at the bottom that allows you to move them to and fro. And then they're friction pinned with just their own plastic for a secondary and primary, secondary, and tertiary hinge. So fully articulated fingers, and the thumb is a ball peg that comes out to a primary and secondary hinge as well. So fully articulated hands, no problem there. And I like the little sculpted details. Looks great. Helps bring it to life. Love to see it. All right. Then we have this chest area. You have the chest hair sculpted in. It's done magnificently. You have a waist swivel. You have an ab crunch at the torso. There's also one at the ab, getting the figure over to 90 degrees. It does break the sculpt up a good bit, but if you're using it for the crunch, it'll be fine. That upper torso will also get you an additional swivel. Okay, hips. Move this out of the way. First of all, sculpting down here looks great too, and so does the silver paint. All right, so we got hip skirts. They'll get up and out of the way. And then we have universals. Back out a little bit too. To get you the full Van Damme. Forward is limited to there and there. However, there is a swing down armature for the hip joint that'll get you all the way. So this is an example of it done nicely, as opposed to the way that Magic Square is doing it, for instance. Like, this is a really well executed swing down joint. It doesn't get in the way. It doesn't feel flimsy. It doesn't connect to the hip skirt. It's just really, really, really well executed. So there's that. Okay. Silver thighs, black and red paint up at the top. So this, I think, is technically just a single knee joint, but look how far you get. You get the swing down pistons as well, and you can utilize this thigh cover to help in any which way you please. And watch the knee bend as well. All that stuff is pretty elegant, nicely done. Some red accents on the black plastic down here. Treads add something to it as well. And then you get the, so red paint, silver paint, ankle tilt up, ankle tilt down, no real additional toe, and then the rocker, and then some silver details inside on the red. So yeah, I mean, that's a knockout. The shoulders are a little wonky, but it's to accommodate everything going on. It's really well done. You know, as an action figure, it's really well done. Size comparison wise, there it is next to the More Than Meets the Eye Megatron, to give you an idea. And I have this Rodimus here handy as well. So, you know, he kind of fits in. Probably is a little bit bigger than the previous Megatron, but maybe just by a hair or so. You know, kind of standard MMC stuff going on here. All right, let's get him transformed. So, get these out of your way. And bring this up. There's this other piece here that needs to come out as well, and then that straightens out. You need to tuck the head away. In order to do so, extend your torso area, and we need to tuck the head back. Then this piece comes forward, tabs in, this piece sits down. And then the only other thing that we can kind of do is open up this chest piece here. And then, I love those little caution bits. These things come out. And swing around. And then come to the front and plug in. And there's just not a lot of room for my fingers in that space, but perhaps you'll fare better than me. And then you have two tabs here. You have two ports there, or slots rather. And just tab them in. Okay, arm time. I'm not looking forward to this at all, but okay. We need to bring this arm up. We need to rotate it. Collapse the forearm down, and then turn the fist. And this arm will come around and tab in to this armature here. Okay. So far, so good. This isn't the tricky bit, to be fair. All right, so same on this side, right? Upside down, right side up, collapse, rotate the hand, bring this hinge up, bring that hinge down, rotate it. You can get these out of your way if it makes your life any easier. And then peg them in, and it's just challenging to see what I got going on. Let me see. There. Okay, now we have these. So this has to be completely unwrapped. Okay, and then you have these two missile bits or whatever they are, and they need to slide forward. There. It's just a Henri hinge on. Oof. Doesn't feel good. But there you go. Okay. Then these come forward so that it kind of makes a zigzag shape. And there is a peg right there. And there is a slot right there. And they need to correspond. And this one that has the slot also comes up and has a peg or in a hole connection, so to speak, on the bottom. And then this one lines up. And pegs in. And I've got it. Then these peg together. The armatures peg together, and you can also bring in Megatron's fusion cannon and peg that underneath using this large slot there, and then this will come down and sit over top. But we're not out of the woods quite yet. So open this up, rotate that up and around, and then utilize your armatures back here to bring this, and you've got this connection point here that goes there on like the flank of the torso, and then you have a tab here that goes into the shoulder. So there's one. And then we're going to do the same thing on this side. Flip this up. And then just use these armatures to get it all lined up. Cool. Extend the waist. Rotate 180 degrees and flip these hip skirts up. Onto the legs. So we're going to flip this cover open, which will allow you to slide up that gray piece, which holds it, like which moves the knee joint and all that. And then open this up. This is hard to see, but there's two panels inside that are connected to the shin. Extend those. And then there's two additional panels behind it that you opened it from and you want to extend those. Right, yes. And then utilize these tabs on the side here back into this panel. And it's just a little tricky because you want to make sure that you keep pressure. Close this panel back down on the knee and make sure that this thigh cover is slid up. Mine's already slid up. I must have used it that way for robot mode. My piece is not connected here because I'm going to do that off camera. But then you want to tilt your toe. See, that's the one thing that kind of sucks. Let's see if I can. Alright, that's kind of close. It's just hard to get it to keep structural integrity. Alright, and then bring this foot up and tab the toe in to the bottom of that shin guard. So we'll do it here. I'll see if I can get it any better. Open up this panel here. That will allow you to slide out this gray piece. Then you can fold that back up, and we'll just go ahead and make sure that we slide the thigh cover up as well. Okay, we've already got the shin open. We're going to extend that arm, that element of the inside of the shin that's connected to it. The side that's not connected to it, we're also going to extend by flipping up one panel and then flipping open the other. I've got a little bit better light on this side. So, I'm not sure if you guys can see this, but it's tab 1, tab 2, slot 1, slot 2. And you're basically, you're building this frame out. But the problem is the pressure can make it simultaneously collapse. All right, and then bring the toe up. Why is that not working? And tab the toe into the shin guard. Mine's come undone again, but and then you tab these together. I'm going to make sure that I got these panels nice and tight. We'll come back. All right, so now we kind of had the moment of truth. We have these two ports here that connect with these two tabs. And then we have this port on the pelvis that connects with that tab. And that's what we're trying to utilize here. So I'm just gonna see what I can do here. Cause there's not a lot of wiggle room, but I got it pretty close already. There we go. All right, and then collapse the legs in. And my armatures have all failed, but I'll clean that up in post. And there's a tab on the inside of the knee that will grab onto the forearm. And secure it. And I mean, oh, one last thing. These treads double hinge down. And that's basically it. I'll get it cleaned up. We'll take a look at it. So there it is. And we'll start off with a size comparison with Tiger Track. So pretty long, so to speak. Yeah, I don't know if this looks a little strange to me because like it's a little stunted back here. I mean, this is where the Optimus part of it obviously pays off better than the Megatron part of it. But still pretty impressive that they were able to do it nonetheless. The turret can move a little bit back and forth, more this way than this way, but and then it can move up obviously. And let's see, I like that the chest still comes through. I like this little stuff. It's pretty wicked, and you can have these down or up depending on what you think. I think they're supposed to be up like this. Oh, you know, I bet you, maybe I missed this. Yeah, so these spin around too. That's cool to kind of match the motif of the front there. That's cool. I dig that. Missed that, but there you go. Yeah, you know, I wish it was a little fuller in the back, so to speak. Story of my life, I'll tell you what. But for the most part, I think they did a pretty good job, man. Turret collapses, obviously. There's an extra hinge here, too, if you want to utilize it. Guns move up and down. These rocket launchers move up and down. That does nothing. But, yeah, I mean, I think what's impressive here is that they were able to take a truck and turn it into a pretty functional tank. Like, that's the cool part here, right? Yes, it probably makes a better truck than it does a tank, but it does pretty good. And the treads all roll. Just little stuff. I mean, a lot of attention to detail. Looks pretty good. So yeah, I dig it. Final thoughts wise, we'll start with the negative. The shoulders, I mean, it's an engineering thing, it's a transformation thing, it's an articulation thing. They try to give you everything that you could possibly want, but as a result, what they don't give you is a totally fun experience regarding utilizing the shoulders. They're just sort of like willy-nilly and a bit clumsy. But I mean, robot mode, that's literally my only complaint. Like, I don't even complain about the ab crunch and that you have to break the sculpt all apart to get it, because you would only utilize that to use the ab crunch, and then that covers the gaps. So like, I'm good with that. The only other real negative I have going through this thing, so to speak, is the arm, like the little panels that build out the shins for alt mode. It would just be better if there was some way for them to sort of stay sturdy and not collapse, because it is not really the most user-friendly experience when you're trying to get them all to work properly in that regard. And and you know, the back end of the tank leaves a little bit to be desired, but I also kind of simultaneously think it's forgivable rather, because of just everything that they were able to pull off here. So like, it's like a catch-22 where, like, yes, I think aesthetically maybe it's not the most pleasing in that regard. However, I am like simultaneously impressed that they were able to do it at all. Do you know what I mean? Moving on to the positives, MMC, you paint your figures beautifully when you do paint them. I'd love to see you paint them more. The paint looks fantastic. You went the extra mile with painting stuff like the purple translucent on both the blade and the mace to bring the figure together. The moving joints and elegance of the elbows and knees. How well done the swing down universal is for the hips. The sculpt work, out of control. The character that comes through, brilliant. Articulation range across the entire board, fantastic. Materials, great. Build, great. This is a knockout action figure. Positives, I mean, like the transformation's pretty involved, but it's not frustrating with the exception of those panel walls that you have to build out for the shins. It's impressive in what it pulls off. The paint, you give double bang for your buck. The front of the alt mode, I think, looks great. The back of the alt mode, you know, looks fine. But I think what's crazy here, and I think that what we need to take a moment and really celebrate is, you know, a lot of times these companies need the repaint. They need the second release of the figure in some deco to really keep the lights on, to really pay the bills, you know. And MMC is known for taking a mold and trying to stretch it into something that it doesn't really fit the motif of. This is the opposite, man. This is something where they had something, it doesn't fit the motif at all of the repaint, and somehow they made it work. And that is impressive, and I think we all need to tip our hat to it just a bit. This was going to be on Patreon. I decided to put it out on my channel because I wanted you guys to know how impressive that was. Hope that helps. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Until next time, take care.